Hey guys, so before we start this video, I just wanted to say that if you're subscribed to me, 1, thank you for subscribing, and 2, make sure to hit that little notification bell to stay up to date on all future Geeky videos. Reason I'm saying this is to make sure that I take proper measures to counteract this YouTube glitch where my videos might not be showing up on the suggested video sidebar or recommended section of your YouTube homepage. Anyways, without further ado, let's get straight onto the review. Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. My gosh, it's finally here, and let me tell you guys, I was beyond stoked when I first learned about 5 years ago that Rowling was going to debut her screenwriting career with this Fantastic Beasts film. So now that the wait is over and it's finally here, how did it fare? Especially with it being part of the much adored Harry Potter series. The story surrounds English wizard Newt Scamander and his journey to the United States with this suitcase filled with an incredible assortment of creatures. If there's one thing you have to give Rowling credit for, it's the extraordinary imaginative power that went behind the design of some of these creatures. The conflict of the film arises when a muggle, or as they call them in the States, no-mages, as in non-magic folk, lets the suitcase open itself, letting these beasts loose onto the streets of New York. And really that's the most I'll give away when it comes to the plot, because I have to say one of the things that helped separate this film from the other Harry Potter films was the fact that there wasn't already a book out that told the story in this movie. I know that Rowling released the screenplay, but what I'm trying to say is that this film isn't a byproduct of a book. The book is the byproduct of the film. The secrecy of the plot and how under wraps this film was kept adds to the mystery and suspense of what will happen next. So I'll let you guys experience that for yourselves, just as I did. Another reason this movie excels so much is actually a fear I had going into seeing this film. I was afraid that Fantastic Beasts would rely too heavily on references from previous Harry Potter films and the mythology that its fans have become so accustomed to. And while there are definitely moments where they cast spells that Harry Potter fans will surely recognize, drop a name or relic here and there that'll raise some eyebrows in astonishment, the movie doesn't rely on these moments to tell its story. I can comfortably say that you don't have to see or read any of the Harry Potter films or books to understand what's going on in this film. It adds nods here and there to cater to the dedicated Harry Potter fans, while at the same time giving a basic narrative that any moviegoer is more than capable of understanding and following, though it may lag here and there as it does suffer from a terribly slow first and second act. As for the villain of the story, I personally think that while the villain may not have been developed as thoroughly as I would have wanted him or her to be, we get a clear sense as to the intention behind why the villain did what he or she did. Unlike, say, Marvel supervillains, whom, for the most part, exist solely to cause mayhem and destruction with little to no cause, we actually become sympathetic for this villain as the movie progresses. Actually, come to think of it, calling them the villain actually gives too much of a negative connotation. I would much rather title him or her as the threat of the film. You'll see what I mean when you watch the movie for yourself. Now for what I didn't like. There is a romance in this film that feels almost as if it had to be there for the sole purpose of having a romance in the movie. I personally would have liked to seen 1 or 2 more scenes where the characters get to know each other better. Maybe then the idea of a romance between the two would be more realistic and not seem so forced. Also, the movie doesn't seem like it knows what tone it wants to approach. It'll go from one scene where it's a fun, humorous scavenger hunt for these beasts to another darker, more serious scene that discusses the turmoil between humans and the wizarding community. This blatant schism between the two tones never really disappears as the film progresses. However, in the end, when all the smoke clears, I believe this film to be a success. A success in what, you ask? A success in expanding the Harry Potter universe. Never did it cross my mind as I grew up watching the Harry Potter films what the wizarding life was like in the States, and how the cultures may differ between us and England. This film capitalizes on this curiosity, and still manages to shock and entertain its audiences, and will continue to do so for many years to come, guaranteed. I give this film a solid 4 wands out of 5. Go check it out for yourself. Thank you so much for watching my very first film review, guys. Please subscribe, like, and share with your friends if you enjoyed. Thanks guys for tuning in, and I'll see you guys not next week, tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for a special geeky video. And stay informed, my friends. Peace.